course, the areas of sustainability. We are located at the Prototyping Lab, the National Science Center, so we run the space over there. And we started first makerspace in Singapore about 4.5 years ago at Nico-Tech Park in Yishun. So the different organizations affiliated with this network is one bigger group, which basically runs makerspaces, sustainable data, which actually creates social innovation programs using making. And of course, we'd like to tell about the project I'm going to talk about today. If you have not been to our place yet, I think there was a visit on Thursday, some of you were there. If not been there, we are open even today and tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, until 10 p.m. So as long as you look before that, we will be able to show you around. So Copitiam is actually a public repair program that we started sometime last year with the intention of teaching people how to repair things for all those reasons that earlier was mentioned. We've done this several times. We typically do this at the void decks. So in Singapore, most people stay in housing development board flats, and usually the void deck spaces are public spaces which can be used for any variety of programs. And so we use these void deck spaces to actually run public repair sessions over there. So the way the mainstream media uses us is that offering free fix-it lessons. I don't quite like the way of putting it because anything put in free, people take it for granted, right? So, but that's the way it's positioned, unfortunately, no matter what. If you ask what kind of things we repair at such an event, typically we do appliance repair. So, appliance repair is by far the majority. Most people have things like broken fans, toasters, ovens, television sets, laptops. We don't do mobile phones generally, we don't do bicycles. The reason is because they are very strong. There's a lot of repair shops targeted at mobile phones and bicycles, and we don't want to get accused of taking away and stealing jobs from people. So we don't do mobile phones and bicycles, even though we can, we don't do that. We do all other things instead, which there are no real repair facilities in Singapore. Also, we work on home improvement items. This is basically things like your kitchen knives, furniture, cabinetry, and so on. And people have to bring their stuff to the void deck. Unless they're very old, we actually go up to their houses and do it. We also have fabrics, garments. This is like seat cushions, upholstery, sofa, those kind of things we do, as well as responsible disposal. So we get a lot of electronic components and parts. They don't really want to repair it, they want to discard it. We basically desolder everything, take out everything, and then repackage it for people to take it away and leave information if they want to for the effort taken to hold everything apart. So we are not the first one to repair, obviously. This has been there's been many things happening around the world ever since 2006, even as far back as that in a very consistent manner. So one of the first things that started coming up with the repair manifestos. This started mostly in Europe and sort of together with the hacker culture, hacker movement. There was this move towards hacking and environmentalism coming together. And so it took the form of repair manifesto. And of course, manifesto is saying a lot of interesting words, but then the action behind a manifesto, there's no action, is talks very cheap. So Repair International was started in the Netherlands in 2009. But this lady whose last name is Postma, I'm not sure. It's European name, I don't want to butcher the name. So, but you can find out about her. She started it in 2009, and today there's about nearly 280 repair companies all over Europe. Majority of them are concentrated in the Netherlands. And they do this as a community activity. So one of the things that in Europe as well as here is true is that majority of these repair sessions involve people who are quite old. Generally, the average age of participation that we have is about 45. In Singapore as well as in Europe. Generally, it's the older crowd. The other kind we get is that we get really young kids as well. So our disposal dismantling stations typically have a lot of young children, between 8 to 14, and then we have this massive gap between 15 to 35. It's absolutely nobody. But most of the time, coaches who actually teach repair tend to fall into that. So it's funny how it falls into these neat little categories. Sorry?
They want the things repaired, and do they want
so I think we have certain guesses and we do some surveys as well to find out what's going on. So I won't call all people a survey. We surveyed about 120 people so far. What we find is that people in that age group are missing because of bringing down stuff. Basically, they have a lot of disposable income and they don't, they view repair as an economic activity, which if you view it as that, basically it will not then it will not make sense to repair it. If you view it purely as economic activity. If you view it both as responsible action, economic activity, and also an exercise in creative thinking and problem solving, then for those reasons, that's why you have a lot of kids and a lot of older people involved. For the older people, another thing also is a lot of sentimental value attached to the things that they have, and so they want to save what they have. So there's a lot of sentiment attached to repair as well. And another thing for the older people is that, when they get older and sometimes tell us these things, I mean, this world today is very youth-oriented, and there is this perception that being old is useless, and the tech companies all do that, right? They always want to hire younger people and so on. And sometimes, you like by repairing and by saving the old things, it's also sort of like a way to fight back against that sort of notion. It's a very philosophical thing. I mean, it might be a bit lost for this audience here, but several of them actually commented on these slides. And initially we were like, these are very strange comments to make, but I can see why they say that. And I think eventually when we get older, we will realize it and know it as well, why they feel that way. But they view repairing as getting a rebellion against this whole idea of society bring them down because they are old and useless kind of thing. Another major one is iFixit. iFixit started many years ago. They went through several iterations. They started out with trying to help you repair handphones, mobile phones. That's why it's called all the Mac products, which are very well known for being very opaque as far as repairing is concerned. The whole system is very close. And they started as an organization to try and break that cycle. They've done many interesting things. And some of the stuff is that they have helped publish a lot of repair manuals. They have made available a lot of product manuals. They make spare parts available for purchase. They have generated user breakdown videos. They also have a discussion forum and a lot of videos with important skills. So all this is very good and it's been done in a very community-centered effort. And also iFixit runs a business around this whole repairing culture as well. So they've done a lot of good work in this area. So when we wanted to start doing this as well, a lot of us were thinking about what can we do that will add on to what iFixit has already done. So in terms of open source, I think the closest we try and borrow from the philosophy is the open source hardware movement. And that's really about publishing, sharing it in a format that easily goes around the licensing. And of course, most important for us is standardized choice of parts. Because when you either develop products or you repair it, actually many products actually have standardized parts inside. When you open it up, the thermal fuses are the same pretty much for the iron, the kettle, across different brands. Whether you buy a high-end brand, whether you buy a low-end Akira kind of brand, it's all the same kind of thermal fuses. And of course, the availability of this work is important as well. A lot of this work currently is in English, but because the audience is generally an older audience, language support will become really important as well in terms of doing it in the local languages. So when we conduct our programs, we have to talk in Mandarin or in Malay as well to actually communicate effectively. So we actually tried, so when we wanted to do this project, when we first started this project last year, the first idea was like, oh, let's go and do this kind of project, saying you train repair coaches, right? People who actually want to repair, because if you know how to repair some kinds of things, you know how to repair a whole lot of things. And the first model of teaching was basically an instructional model. I will stand over here and I will do some stuff, and then we'll have this nice little tables, and you will follow along and all that. It wasn't very effective, to be honest, and we were losing people, and people dropped out of the program quite soon. Generally, it takes 8 weeks to train a repair coach to be able to be ready to serve the public directly in an independent fashion. So a lot of people are dropping out at the second or third week due to lack of interest and so on. Yeah. So what we tried to do was, clearly we're not teaching this properly. So we asked the coaches who are already in the program itself to develop new ways of how we should teach. and train repair coaches effectively. And this was a very interesting exercise for us because we didn't know what would come out of it. And what we realized that actually 4 different kinds of thinking that came out. And this was only about 20 repair coaches that were working in groups to develop new ways of training. So first one was about spatial learning. Now what this means is that what they actually did was that they would have a whole bunch of broken items over there, and then they will spend about 5 to 10 minutes trying to determine and diagnose what the problem is, and they'll diagnose what the first steps they will take to do it. And then when everyone writes out 5 minutes, then they will stop and say, okay, everyone will talk through what they're going to do, what they're going to do, they will hear what people are saying, and then each of them will take an item, and they'll be given 20 minutes to repair it, and then come back again, repeat the cycle. So this is the participatory learning cycle that they did. And it's actually, it's like an examination almost, because you sit down at paper and then you like scribbling away, and then it times up, and you go and do, and you come back, and then you do it again. So this is one model. Another model is the just in time. So another group, basically, what they try to do is that they started repairing something, and as they didn't know stuff, they went to YouTube, Google, and tried and pull in information everywhere. And of course, they got better and better in doing this. So they learned how to search very, very well. They learned how to search very specifically. They know how to start looking up for stuff. They started trying to understand what's the correct name for things. We all say, the kind of plug that goes on the computer, but every plug has a different class, it's a different type. They started needing to know all the names for these different things. And with the names, we can search very well. So they started knowing how to identify things as the first step. So just in time. Reverse engineering, as the name suggests, is basically they do a breakdown and they figure out, and then they put that together and figure out what wasn't there and should be there, and they try to repair it that way. And algorithm problem solving is interesting because the guys who did this were guys who actually knew how to repair. And what they were trying to do, they were trying to solve the general class repair problems for the particular product. So let's say the kettle, right? All kettles are made slightly different, but all kettles have a general principle within it. So they try to identify the general class of problems, and then with that they try to develop an algorithm in terms of a very full form algorithm for how to repair any sort of kettle for that matter, any sort of iron, any sort of toaster, any sort of this, any sort of that. And they have now developed 6 different algorithms, and these are like massive branches and all the standard kind of.
On the website?
Right now they have it on a booklet form. So our website, we just started a website, so we're uploading these things. Right now it's on, they did it on booklets. This program is only about 5 months old, so it's fairly new for us. So what we hope to do in terms, so this experience with open sourcing, just the teaching aspect of it, maybe give us some ideas as well in other things that we could do to help improve the way we run this particular repair program. Because all of it is so new, we actually don't know the right way to do a lot of things. And I think there's no right way. There's of course many ways, and some ways work better than other ways. So we basically want to find even more ways of teaching. I think there's more than these 4 ways of teaching for repair effectively. We want to represent other repair cultures. So one aspect of this is that as we're doing this thing, it so happens that the repair coaches, we have people from many different countries, from Philippines, from Indonesia, with some Japanese as well, involved in the project. And there are peculiar and repair cultures associated with each of these societies and where they come from. And so we wanted to see if there's whether we really open this up and see, let people bring in other ways of doing it as well, so that one of the Japanese way they call it Kitsuni is basically to put gold into porcelain repair, so that your porcelain repair job looks even more meaningful than it was even before the COVID. So there's other methods, other cultural methods of repairing. We also wanted to standardize the way of doing 3D printing fabrication of spare parts. Right now it's a very complicated process. We actually have to, you can scan it and all that, but normally for the parts over here, what happens is the parts are not fully broken, they're only partially broken. And so if you redraw it, you can measure all the stuff again, or even to scan it, it will be just a partial part of it. So we're trying to find better ways of how to do the scanning and 3D printing of these spare parts, especially when they're in place in the machine. So you can't just take it out and put it there. The other thing is that because we're in the prototyping lab, a lot of people actually come and develop products using the lab. We wanted to see if we can start injecting some design for repair guidelines. Like if you are doing hardware product development, what would you do to as some guidelines to make sure that your product is easily repairable? And we hopefully try to influence the products that are being developed by other people in our lab with some of these ideas as well. And the last thing, of course, is that we're going to find more creative ways to get more people to participate more effectively with what we're doing. Right now, it's a very kind of a young person show. So, seeing that most of the audience is actually young people, we want to have that to impact coaches as well and figure out what are other ways to do that. Because I think we have to think very differently, and we may not be aware of what's the best way to engage groups like this. So you want to follow up with us, basically, this is our website, our Facebook page, website. The Facebook page is more updated than the website. And tomorrow, if you are in Singapore and you want to maybe join us for the repair session, we are doing a training at 9 a.m. at the Prototyping Lab at National Design Center. We start on time, so turn out, otherwise you're very confused with what's going on. We're not doing a lot of things. Normally when we start in the morning, we will do a bit of briefing, what's going to happen for the day, and then everyone, it will be activity all the way until about 12:30 or so, we'll gather back again. So tomorrow we'll be doing some cross-training, welding and so on. Yeah, otherwise, that's it for my talk. Any questions, I can take them.
Okay, questions?
So the question was basically, is there currently exchange, a healthy exchange between the various repair communities in the world that are identified as well? So the Repair Cafe International has taken on the sort of the organizer role in trying to coordinate some of these activities. So our communication right now is with them directly. It's not with subgroups yet. I think also problems that we discovered in the subgroups in the region especially. I'm sure they are, but we have not discovered them yet. So if you do know of people in the ASEAN region who actually do this sort of thing, I'm sure they are. You just don't know them. Or they might be using the website in the language search for them. So then please let us know, and we'll be happy to connect with them. But right now, we do this directly with Repair Cafe International, which is based in the Any other questions? Okay, if not, thank you very much. If you want to join us, just drop by tomorrow. If you don't have time to take a look,